y'all doing? For this review, I'm going to go over the third book of the Barsoom series, also known as John Carter of Mars by Grice Burroughs, and that is the Warlords of Mars, which I have in this collection here. Alright, so, continuing where we left off, John Carter, at the end of the second book, he overrides the Holy Thurns, leading to false religion to Martians, that kills and enslaves many people who go down the River Is, and also overthrows the empire of the Black Martians, the Firstborn, who are at odds with the Thurns. But these two had to be overrun in a major battle in the last one. Unfortunately, it leaves off a cliffhanger when Carter almost tries to rescue his wife Dejah Thoris. The main they end up being trapped. Dejah Thoris, Thuvia, slave girl he meets, and Fedor, the Holy Hecator, are now trapped in his tower that locks him in for a year. It doesn't open it back up until a year later, and that's where it left off. So continuing off with that, Carter is trying, going down the river with Woola, who, his faithful Kalat hound companion, who doesn't show up in the second book at all, but shows back up here. They're traveling down the river, and he comes across two characters who are the main villains of this one. There's the Holy Hecator of the Thurns himself, Matai Shang, and there's Thurid, one of the Black Martians of the Firstborn. They're conspiring together, who are trying to get Dejah Thoris, Thuvia, and Fedor before John Carter does, and Thurid knows of an alternate direction into the prison, so they don't have to wait for the end of the year. Carter hears up on this and tries to follow him, and nearly succeeds in rescuing them, but they beat him to it. They escape, and the chase is on throughout, through two main areas of Mars. Upon a trace, he tracks him down to the city of Cole, which is in a forested area of Mars. Yeah, again, this is an alternative version of the Mars, so it's not all, pole or ice caps and deserts. There's some other regions as well, but go with it. So he comes up there, he fights giant insects, and finds a way to infiltrate into it, disguised as one of the Red Men, so he could get to the leader and have him help out. But here's the problem: the Jedak, the leader of this area of Cole, they have not been exposed to the fraudulent religion that is the Thurns. So he's still a believer and takes the Holy Hecator in as a friend. So Carter, trying to get in to rescue Dejah Thoris and Thuvia, he gets exposed by Matai Shang, tells Jack, this guy's a heretic, he needs to be destroyed. Carter tries to say, hey, this guy has stolen my wife and Thuvia. Now, this may not be enough, except the Jedak's friend is the ruler of Ptarth, who recognizes Thuvia as the daughter he was missing. Yeah, apparently the slave girl in the second book turns out to be a princess herself, of Ptarth. And now Carter has an ally who will help him out. So the Jedak is telling Matai Shang, bring these two over here, we'll settle this, but they escape again. So now Carter and Thuvia's father, what was it? Thuvin Din. So yeah, I got Wikipedia for quick reference notes. So now they're going to go to the North Polar regions, and this time they're going to the North Polar regions, which are these huge glass dome cities to keep themselves from the cold. And they reach to, and let's see, Akar is the main capital of this area of the world. Now these are not red Martians here; these are yellow Martians. We got red, black, the green Martians, and we got the yellow ones. So yeah, we come across all different types here. And now they're trying to infiltrate in. The Holy Hecator, Matai Shang, comes in and tries to seek asylum there. One of the things that Okar has is a giant black magnetic tower that draws ships coming in and crashes in, so there's no invasions there. So Carter's has to go in on foot. He can't bring a fleet in yet. So he's trying to infiltrate in with Thuvia's father, and once they meet all the dangers and get into the city, they got just as much problems. But Matai Shang and Thurid are trying to get Carter captured. They do. The leader of Okar, Silensis Ol, is now taking a liking to Dejah Thoris and wants to take her as his wife. And so now Carter's got, trying to solve all this, overrun them, stop the other two. And I won't get too far into the ending of this. And then he still, when he accomplishes this, Carter still has to answer for the crimes of all the supposed heresies of exposing religion, so that gets resolved in the end of the book, of course. So it's not much of a review here. It's just it's a good summation of the first three, the third book here. But if you really wanted to, you could pretty much stop right there, because these three, despite the fact there are 11 books, these three is probably the closest to an overall arc story for John Carter. The rest are individual adventures. And the part about when I mentioned Thuvia being a princess, you know, when you first meet her, she's a slave. Then later finds out she's a princess of a Jeddak, of a city in there. Get used to that. This happens a lot in this series in particular, and a lot, and sometimes in other stories as well. If they're not revealed as high ranking officials in their own societies, at first, there's a good chance they maybe, when they fall in love with the main character or a side character, they end up being they were a princess or a queen the entire time. Get used to that. This happens often. So there you go. The Warlords of Mars by, the third book here of the Barsoom series. And there's, plenty more to go. I'll get to those, but there you go. Thank you all for watching. You have a nice day.